stretched your stomach out and you've pushed it to the limits of calories, and now your body's like, where's the gravy? Where's the extra pie? And I'm perpetually hungry.
And then you walk into work today and there's a hot chocolate bar.
Mm-hmm. And maybe you just ate all chocolate chips. That's okay. You can do whatever you want.
You don't have to have the hot chocolate.
No, I didn't need the hot chocolate. What I did need is the chocolate chips. I did hold back. I was going to just spray the whipped cream, but I was like, this is community whipped cream, Alex. You can't do that. So let's not be germy.
I did do that at home, though.
Oh, at home? Game over. You know, maybe you're doing that because the weather has us kind of like feeling inside, feeling a little lazy, feeling us.
These games indoors or at your favorite restaurant or bar, because this weekend is shaping up to be pretty rainy as we go through some of the big games for college football as well as the NFL. But first, you were just talking about Florida State. Let's take a look. You know what? Sometimes I may have to play football myself here in our virtual reality. There we go. Okay, we got Florida State Seminoles taking on the Cardinals there, as Alex mentioned, in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Bank of America Stadium. No roof there, so all this rain, you're in the elements. And of course, there's going to be a lot of stuff before the game, pregame activities. You're going to have to plan accordingly. It's just going to be kind of a cold, rainy day. Not the best football weather. And man, it just makes me think of just the ponchos and you got all the stuff trying to sit in the stands. A little bit different SEC championship there. We got Alabama and Georgia. Retractable roof there at Mercedes-Benz, so you will be better with the elements. However, of course, if you're doing anything before or after the game, we got rain here in Atlanta. Kickoff there at 4 o'clock on Saturday. Now switching gears, let's talk about Sunday as we get to the NFL. We have Philadelphia. We have the San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles. That's going to be at 4:25 as we head into Sunday. But more rain, no surprise there, but we got a cold, rainy day for them. And then cloudy here for the Chiefs and the Packers at Lambeau Field. That's at 7:20 on Sunday evening in Green Bay. It's cold. We got the 30s, though, so clouds, no wet weather. But it is going to be cold, and of course, all these places also have open-air stadiums, so you are going to be with the elements. The Falcons and the Jets, that's going to be in New Jersey on Sunday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Rain in the forecast, 50s and rainy. So really, if you're going to any of these games in person, you're going to have to dress for the cold and for the rain. We really don't have great weather for any of these guys. So it may be one of those times that you are going to want to watch it at home, on the couch, or at your favorite place. Gillette Stadium here, Sunday, we have the Chargers and the Patriots, the 40s and rainy. So, when you're out in the stands, oh gosh, Alex, it just kind of makes me cringe a little bit. You got the ponchos, the umbrellas, everything, and
yeah, that's miserable. And honestly, how much you pay for those tickets, you couldn't pay me to go sit in that.
And then if your team is
skis and the little pom-pom hats. And for some areas, winter season has already been in full swing in a big way. We look at the season-to-date snowfall for November 30th, 2022. So let's go back in time a year ago where we had 18.5 inches already in Spokane. We had 14.3 inches in Caribou. Buffalo had already had 3 feet of snow, and Marquette had already seen 40 inches of snow. Fast forward to this November 30th, not nearly as much. Lesser amounts in places like Buffalo. Only 2.3 inches has fallen in the city. And I know you're like, but wait, wasn't there a huge lake effect this week? Yes, just not in Buffalo. Caribou has seen just under 11 inches. Riverton, Wyoming, 19 inches thus far. But Spokane, compared to last year, way low. Less than 2 inches has fallen this season. So through November 30th, you can see Buffalo, Marquette, Bismarck, and Spokane all running significantly lower than they were this time last year. Now, does that spell what's to come for the season? Not necessarily, but obviously the month of November, much less snowy for a few select cities across the country. Who's seen their first snow? A lot of areas around the Great Lakes have already, but a lot of the Northeast hasn't yet. And for some of the Northeast, gosh, it's been a long time. The observed snowfall and the departures from average: Syracuse running low, Buffalo running low, Erie running low, other areas also running that deficit. But for some, it's been a years-long deficit when it comes to snow. The snow drought in the Northeast has been a long one. New York, you've gone 655 total days without a snowfall of or greater than 1 inch. The last time you had that was on February 13th. 2022. Philadelphia, it's been since January of 22, so 670 days without an inch of snow. And in Baltimore, it's been 671. You notice the little stars, the asterisk? Those are record streaks for those cities. So if you feels like you've been waiting a while, you have been waiting a while. And if you're happy about it, good for you, right? It's been good news. Boston, New York, Philly, D.C., the least snowy seasons Last year was one of them. So the 2022-2023 season was the #1 least snowy season there in the New York metro area. For Philly, it was #2. For Washington, D.C. and Boston, Colleen, it was #4. So last year, we were really lacking snow. We'll see what this year can do.
And, you know, when we think of December, your
policy limits, know your deductible, talk to an insurance agent, any professional. In fact, he even said make your insurance agent your best friend if you live in Florida, and know your flood and wind coverage. An example he gave, it's a worst case nightmare scenario. A neighbor of Jim's has been paying into his insurance there on Fort Myers Beach for what, 2 decades or so while he's been retired and owned his home. He's been paying for the wrong insurance. Ian hits. He wasn't insured, even though he's been paying for insurance the entire time because he had the wrong insurance. Know your policy limits and know what they are. He even said, you take your policy documents, 7,500 pages, sit down with your attorney. Let them go through it chapter and verse.
Honestly, it may be worth the money. I mean, the attorneys charge for their time, but having somebody look through it, Dr. Nab says all the time, make your insurance agent your best friend as well, because you want to make sure you've got the right policy, because that's a worst case scenario.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine paying an insurance policy all this time
and then you need it and it's not the right one,
and then they're like, oh wait, no, actually you've been paying wrong the whole time.
The whole time, not just for like a year, for decades.
So then you've been paying all this money to get nothing in return. I mean, time is money is a saying, right? So spend the time to understand those policies.
And there are a few other variables. Again, the insurance rabbit hole is a deep one. And a few other variables as far as reinsurance and other things that do factor into whether or not there would be that hurricane tax. But the reality is, could we be one storm away? That is truly the reality.
Justin, you've been doing some great. Welcome into this Friday edition of Weather Underground. It is December 1st, the first day of meteorological winter. I'm Alex Wilson.
And I'm Colleen Coyle, and I can't believe it is December 1st.
Did you start doing your advent calendars today?
I know, my toddler wanted to put all of we have this little felt one that she's going to do this year. She wanted to put them all up. I was like, no, we got to go one at a time. She's like, I don't understand. And then where's the candy?
Yeah, it's kind of how I feel about the chocolate ones. Some days you're like, you know what if I just ate first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and then we'll deal with it next week, right?
Yeah.
It's a weekly advent calendar.
Weekly, yes, there we go.
Suggested. It's kind of one of those days where we want to eat something savory, eat something warm and hearty, because for a lot of areas, it's soggy.